How are we, boys and girls? Welcome to the Going Down Under podcast. I'm your host, Braam Hein, Preaching Koala on all social medias, and here we will be diving deep on all things health and wellness related. New place? It's the same building, but just different room. I don't know. Feels cool. Got a tripod now. Huh? Fancy. Very fancy. There's a lot of people outside too. I feel kind of weird about this. Not weird, but just kind of funny. Before we get into the episode, which is about some quotes and aphorisms that I personally really like that helped shift my perspective on a lot of things. Solo Leveling, the anime, just a lot of you probably just tuned out just then, is so sick. It's so cool. It's about this guy who lives in this world where monsters and stuff attack and everyone gets abilities. But this guy's ability is just that he can level up like a video game. It's so sick. It's so cool. Highly recommend. Highly recommend. It's so cool. Also, today's sponsor, Body Armor Light. One of these. I'm sorry for everything that I do. It's so peach mango though. Really good. I usually drink Gatorade Zero or just random electrolytes that I have. Dr. James, please sponsor me and give me free electrolytes. You don't know who I am. But anyway, on to the meat and potatoes of the episode. So I'm a big quotes and aphorisms guy. I sound like higher up wellness. I'm like the Australian higher up wellness, just a little bit nicer and way more stupid. Not as smart. Yet. We're getting there. Regardless, I really like quotes and aphorisms. And basically what an aphorism is just a sentence that has way deeper of a meaning. It means a lot more than what is just on the paper. And for me personally, I really like them just because you can interpret things a lot of different ways. And with aphorisms, it's all about how you interpret them. So I'm going to say them and how I interpret them and how they made me shift perspectives or something like that. But if the quote or aphorism doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. Something else might work. And a lot of the generic ones, I feel like that are overused or oversaturated on social media or just in life in general. Like you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. It means a lot to a lot of people, but sometimes it just doesn't hit the same if you don't really feel what the quote is saying. And a lot of these quotes are kind of similar to most quotes and most aphorisms are very similar to each other. They're just worded differently. And sometimes you just need a different frame or you might just need to hear it in a different light, in a different way, on a different day maybe. And it might just hit a lot different. So that's why I think they're just easier ways to learn concepts and theories and frames of mind in terms of how you're framing your own ideals and morals. And for me personally, these ones, I have 6 written down. I have 6 written down for this episode, but I have so many in my notes app written down in this journal, and I have 4 journals. It's very sporadic. It's how my brain works for some reason. But I have 6 written down here that really, when I heard them, either stuck with me heavy or I wrote them down so if I ever needed anything that'll hit hard, I'll go back and read it. But these ones are the ones that I think about a lot and nearly on a daily basis, all of these. Whether I do it consciously or not, these definitely changed how I think about things in how I frame situations. And hopefully, if you're in the right frame of mind too, these can change your progression and shift your perspective in a positive way, in a good way. And that's all I'm trying to do, is to help as many people as I can, at least. Also, since you're on a tripod, I blanked on what was called tripod, and you're not balancing on a container of oatmeal, I can hit the table like this and be really passionate and shit. Or that, I guess. I'm not gonna do that. I might do that. I get very passionate about things sometimes. But regardless, the first one, and also I have who's I heard them from. If that's not the original person, I apologize. Don't kill me or assault me or something. But these are just who I heard them from, and I'll give it a little explanation as to why I like them and then how I view them. But ultimately, it's how you view them. So, the first one from Mr. Alex Hormozy, who would have expected. This is kind of when I was in my self-development era, I guess. But basically just saying when I was sad. Not really sad, but I was just really focusing on developing myself. And I feel like a lot of people do that like they take self-development way too far. I did for a little bit, honestly, where I was reading everything. It was like all these quotes, all these podcasts I was listening to. I didn't read any books, I will admit, but I am now, but different life. But people watch them because I fell into this trap. I would watch like three motivational hour-long videos a day, but instead of actually doing anything, I'd just be watching the videos. And I thought that was changing my frame of mind. But unless you apply anything, then you just still didn't gain any knowledge. I mean, Alex Hormozy again, like one of his main like ideals is if you learn something and you don't apply it, then you're still dumb. And it's obviously it's a nice way of putting that. Basically, just saying if you really want to learn something, but all you're doing is learning it and you're not applying it, then what's the point in learning it? You know? So that was a quick sidebar before the quote because of the whole Alex Hormozy thing. But I really love Alex Hormozy, not in terms of the grit and grind, blah, 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 just in terms of his business mentality and also how just relentless his work ethic is, because I really resonate with that part. Just absolute relentless aggression towards what you're passionate about. So I feel like a lot of people frame his thing as, oh, he's just ruthless and he doesn't care about how people feel. No, he does. His passion is just business. Whereas your passion might be working out. Your passion might be music, art, dancing, whatever. His is just business. And it's unfortunate that sometimes business takes advantage of people, but that's also how the world works. So, but regardless, so the quote is, hello, already messed that up. Nice. Messed up on the first word. Don't record that. I did record it. That's what the fuck podcast is. Anyway, okay. Success comes down to doing the obvious thing for an extraordinary period of time without convincing yourself you are smarter than you are. I'll say that again. Success comes down to doing the obvious thing for an extraordinary period of time without convincing yourself you are smarter than you are. It's a big thing to me, especially because I used to want results very quickly, and I would be upset if I didn't hit a weight goal or if I didn't hit a specific marker in a shooting workout, because I played a lot of basketball, and I would see other people being better shooters or better finishers or just performing better in some capacity, and I wouldn't get mad at them, obviously. I would just get mad at myself. I'm like, why am I not there? Why am I not being successful right now when I feel like I put in so much work? And it's because at that time I was doing every workout possible, the most extravagant things, and the weirdest ball handling drills. Not like that. Basketball, get your head out of the gutter. God, sorry. And I would want to I'd want to have a handle like Kyrie within like a week. Whereas, I mean, one of my favorite teammates I've ever had, J-Rob, he isn't a flashy guy. Sometimes he can get a little saucy. You know you can, J-Rob. I love you. But really, if you watch him play, he's so fundamental. He's just pound dribbles. He's crab dribbling, protecting the ball. He's coming off screens. He's coming off the screen tight. He's reading the floor. If he has a midi, he's going to pull it. He's probably going to make it because he's nice. And all he does is practice shooting in mid-range and getting the right form in his shots. And he's one of the most ice-cold guards I've ever played with. But he's just extremely fundamental. And all he did was just, for a lot of his high school career and a lot of his middle school career, from what I've heard, I don't actually know, Trey, I love you. I'm just saying the story, is that he would just get up 1,000 shots a day. And that's how he became successful. He just did the obvious thing. He wanted to become a better shooter, so he just shot the ball. And I've kind of taken this quote and from a lot of experience in my life. You can't think that you're better or smarter than you are if you aren't successful in something. You just have to do what is the most obvious thing and just do it for as long as you can and maintain it. Especially within fitness and just life and health. If you do the boring thing, which is just eating whole foods, eating as healthy as you can, eating fruits and vegetables, eating lean meats, you do that for an extended period of time, you're going to lose weight. You're going to look great. You're going to eat a lot. If you eat a lot of protein, which is the obvious thing, eat a lot of micronutrients, a lot of fruits. If you do all that, you're going to look good. And but it's not going to happen within a week. You're going to see gradual progressions. And then you're going to look at yourself in 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. And you're going to look completely different. You're going to be changed. And same thing with working out. If you want to increase your bench press, I used to also do the dumb thing of like, oh, I'm gonna make my shoulders really strong and make the stabilizers in there really strong, and I'm gonna do chest flies because that's like it's gonna increase the range of motion in my chest. Which they're all well and good, but the most successful way to increase your bench press is by repping out the bench press, by doing heavy bench press, by doing 2 to 3 sessions a week of bench and just trying to blow that shit up and just going as hard as you can with an intensity that is going to change your bench press. It's going to blow it up. And it also kind of boils down to, again, how an aphorism can be changed if you share it in a different way. The infinite frame will always beat how am I forgetting it now? Basically what it is just if you focus on a goal rather than focusing on your systems, you won't be as successful. The man who loves to walk will always go farther than the man who loves the journey. No, what is it? I messed that up. The man who loves the destination will not walk as far as the man who loves to walk. That's basically what it is. I'm sorry, I'm tired. But so, especially in relationships as well. So a lot of people try to do the extravagant stuff with relationships, and I've fallen into that before in previous stuff where like I need to buy the most extravagant gifts, or I need to do the most extravagant things for certain holidays or for just this person just all the time or something like that. Or I'm not just talking about like romantic relationships. I'm just talking about relationships in general, like friends, family, whatever. But successful relationships come down to, are you there? Like, are you actually just there for that person? Are you, when you're hanging out, are you actually in the space with that person? Are you listening to what they're saying? Are you being there for them emotionally? Are you being for them for their physically? Like that. Also kind of like that. But are you just doing what you're supposed to be doing for the longest amount of time that you can? Am I saying that that's going to make every relationship you have successful? No, because sometimes it just doesn't work out. But the most successful relationships that you see are just people who are there for each other for as long as possible. Maybe they have a date night a week, maybe they get each other flowers, they get each other things that mean something to the other person. You don't have to buy them a Rolex. Like, you can just get them a rock. Like, my girlfriend got me a seashell. That shit was awesome. That was so cool. Just because she saw one and thought of me, it's like, I'm gonna get this for him. I'm like, that's awesome. That's so sick. I really appreciate that, and it deepens connections, man. It really does. But okay, I'll get off my high horse. But moving on to the second one. This one is by a comedian, Jimmy Carr. Crazy. I feel like quotes from comedians are just hit differently. They're just because they're always so silly, they're always so goofy. But if you hear them in a serious light and they talk about something serious, you're like, oh shit, this means something. Because this guy's usually the funny guy. He's not usually the smart, serious guy. This must hit different. I feel like that's also why people listen to me sometimes. Because I'm an idiot most of the time. If I'm serious, they're like, oh shit. Yeah. But anyway, I won't hop on as much as I did in the first one. I'll keep the rest concise. But this one's literally just serve yourself in 24 hours. And I feel like a lot of people think they've heard that in one way or another. Like, would you in a week think that this matters? Or would this decision make you better in the long run? But just the way of it being 24 hours really changed how I viewed a lot of that stuff. So I'm like, I'll put it this way, because how I do a lot of my endurance workouts and how I used to do a lot of that stuff, and even in basketball games, I would be like, it's just 4 minutes. It's just like 4 minutes, 5 times. That's all a 20-minute collegiate half is. It's 4 minutes, 5 times. If you can win 4 out of those 5, you're most likely going to be in a good spot. You don't have to win every single time. Is it better if you do? Hell yeah. Is it likely that's going to happen? Unless you're really, really, really good, no, it's not going to happen all the time. And I'm kind of viewing that in terms of life now. Like, I'm just taking everything day by day. And as long as I am on top of most things, most of the time for a day, then I'm good. Because if I viewed something in terms of I have to do this within the next 3 months, then I wouldn't really think about it until maybe 2 months in. I'd be like, oh, I promised myself a few months ago that I'd do this in 3 months. I have a month left. So then I'll lock in for a month. Whereas if I'm like, okay, I'm going to lock in my health and nutrition today. Then I'm going to be better off for tomorrow. And then tomorrow I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to lock in for today. And that also can be a mindset to where I used to think about a lot of, I'm not fast today. I'm not the best shooter today. But if I just keep working, if I keep getting better at what I'm supposed to be getting better at, I will get there eventually. And then there will be a day where I will say, I am fast, or I am the best shooter. Something like that. I'm sorry, there's a lot of sports analogies, especially basketball analogies, because I mean, that's what my life was for a long time. So this is how I view things. So hopefully this is hitting in some form of way. But it's so obvious, but it's such a vital, vital way of thinking, of just serving yourself. You didn't even make it serving yourself in 3 hours. Like, if I eat this thing, if I eat a whole pizza right now, am I going to feel great in 3 hours? No. Should I do it? No, most of the time. Sometimes, sure, fuck it, who cares? But you're not going to do that every day. If you're like, hey, it's been a year since I've ate a whole pizza, will I feel good in 3 hours? No. But will I be okay? Yes. It's all about perspective and shifting infinite frames that we just talked about in terms of the whole life into just little battles. And you might not win each battle, but as long as you focus on the little battles, you'll win the whole war. Anyway, that was kind of a cool way to finish that one. Anyway, so the third one, I heard it from this guy called the Jack Italian on YouTube. Shout out Marco. But I don't know where he got it from, but he made a shirt out of it, and I bought the shirt because I thought it was sick. It's a sick shirt. It also reminds me of this quote. But the quote is, sacrifice for what you want, or what you want becomes a sacrifice. And this one hit me really hard when I heard it, because I think it was my sophomore year, maybe, of basketball, and I was doing a lot of things outside of basketball that weren't helping me in terms of getting better at what I wanted to get better at. And I was letting a lot of things walk over me. I was letting a lot of people walk over me, especially. But we can talk about that more later. But so I just was a people pleaser, and I was sacrificing other things, other relationships, for relationships that didn't really matter. Not that they didn't matter, that's a bad way of putting it. They just weren't on my priority list, and I was putting it on my priority list for no reason, just because I thought that's what I had to do as a person. But it really hindered it hindered my basketball, it hindered other relationships that I really cared about. It hindered a lot of things. It hindered my health for a little bit. I didn't do hard drugs. I'm going to preface that. That sounds like I did that. I didn't do any of that. I didn't do any of that. But when I heard the quote, sacrifice for what you want, or what you want becomes a sacrifice, it makes you prioritize things, because you're gonna have to sacrifice things in life, and that's gonna suck. But some things matter to you more than other things, and you have to recognize that. And for me, recently, my relationships with certain people and my health and my fitness have been my top priorities. So I've had to sacrifice some things, some relationships, and not some relationships, as in there are some times where people ask me to go out, and I would have to, and back then I would say yeah, because I would feel like I would have to go because I need to please this person, I need to please everybody, where in reality they don't really care. If you say no, they're like, oh damn, that sucks, and you'll see him another day, whatever. And I'm really prioritizing saying no to things that I don't prioritize, because otherwise I'm just going to be in a shitty loop of where I'm not happy and I'm making things that I care about sacrificial when I don't want that. I care about these things a lot, so I'm going to prioritize them. I'm going to care about them a lot. And all these other things can be on hold, or they can just go away completely. And that really is what shifted a lot of my thinking when I heard that. And it hurt to do that the first few times. Once you do it for the first time, you're like, oh, it's not that bad. Because then you see the outcomes of it, and the outcomes are just, you might just see them next week in class, or you might see them in the next few days. You might see them just around the halls, whatever. Or you might not see them for like a month, but it'll still be okay, because if you're a good person, you do the right things, people will respect the decisions. If you don't want to go to something, and they know that, and you still go, then they can't really respect when you go because you really want to go, because they don't know if you actually want to be there. But if you give people no's and you mean it, and they're like, okay, he doesn't want to go to this, she doesn't want to go to this, and then you go, and then because if they don't ask you again, that's on them, really. But if they're your friend, they'll ask you to go again. And then if you say yeah, then you're like, oh, that means a lot more. Because you're like, okay, cool, he wants to go. So keep that in mind the next time you are prioritizing things in your life. Keep that in mind and really make your priorities your priorities. Fourth one. Ironic. Another Hormozy quote. But there's a lot of moments in my life where I've heard something or I've seen something, or another one of those is going to pop up later. But ironically, I saw like a TikTok edit. You know, like those Hope Core edits? It's one of those. And this one really hit me like super hard. Like the music, like, sorry. This one really hit me. I remember like staring at my ceiling for like 20 minutes afterwards. I was like, shit. This is the one. This is one of my favorite quotes. And it's pretty simple. It's just, what would you do if you weren't afraid? And this changed a lot for me. This changed my decision making really in general. Because there was a lot of decisions where I'd be like, I'm scared right now. I don't want to do this. Just because I didn't feel comfortable with something, or I didn't feel like it would benefit me, where it really did. And it's just, it's so freeing to me, because you really shouldn't be afraid of anything. Like, there's no point being afraid, because even if you do something that doesn't work out, you still did it, you still learn from it, and you have a story, you know? And it's also goes to another idea of, what would you do if there were no consequences? Like, what passions would you pursue if you didn't care about what people thinked? Nice. Thought. And it's one of the main things was something like this, like my TikTok account, my Instagram account, it really pushed me towards really locking in on this, because I've been very passionate about making videos, fitness, health, wellness, helping people as much as I can for a long time. And I was so afraid of how people would perceive that, because I saw a lot of people make fun of people on TikTok and Instagram and whatever for posting videos. And some of them, they might be cringe, they might be lame, whatever, to you or to me, but they might have fun making them. So who cares? Like, let them have fun. Let them do what they want. Like, you wouldn't want people judging you for the things that you like. I mean, I like anime shit. That's kind of lame. I know, but it's cool to me. It's fucking really cool to me. And like, I don't think art's the coolest thing in the world. I can look at a piece of art and not really understand it, but one of my mates might think it's the coolest thing they've ever seen in their life. I'm not gonna be like, yo, you think that's cool? That shit sucks. That's lame as hell. You should like football or some shit. Like, if you don't like football, who cares? Like what you like, dude. Do what you want to do. Pursue the thing. Pursue the relationship. If you're scared, fuck it. Who cares? You're gonna learn from it anyway. Just do it. Just ask her out. Shout out Theo Vaughn. He said that. Just do the thing. If you weren't afraid, what would you do? And then you should probably do that. It's also like the concept of, I'm blanking on the name right now, but if you have two decisions, to do something or to not do something, I urge you to get a coin and to flip it and have heads be one and tails be the other. Flip the coin and then catch the coin and then fucking throw the coin away, because you know in your head that when that coin was in the air, you had a decision that you wanted it to land on. So you might be reading my mind here, fucking do that decision. Whoa, crazy, mind-blowing, insane, right? Like, I'm saying this from a position of where I've had to do a lot of things, and I've learned a lot of things because I'm dumb and I have messed up a lot. But I urge you to, I'm saying this with all the passion that I have, because don't be afraid of shit. Even in like a sports context, I mean, in my first few years of basketball, I was shit scared of making a mistake. So I was afraid of a lot of things. So I wouldn't do a lot of things. But if I had the mindset that I do now, and that I've learned that I had to learn and go through, obviously, and a lot of things you have to learn and go through yourself just to realize. But if you just play free, you don't play afraid, you're gonna play so much better. You have so much more fun. You enjoy it. Enjoy life. Have fun. That's it on that. But I think I talked about like 10 minutes on that, so I apologize. But regardless, I think we're on number 5. I think this is 5. This is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5. Sorry to count. I have it numbered, but I, for some reason, thought it would be a wrong number. Anyway, this quote can be said a lot of different ways. But I heard this quote from my old rugby coach at my undergrad. Shout out Coach Adrian. Love you, miss you. Hope you're doing well. But this guy he was that guy. He was a motherfucker. He was like, he said something, everybody listened. He blew the whistle, everybody stopped. It wasn't no one's gonna fight him. Everyone respected him, and because he respected everybody, but he also had standards, and he knew what needed to happen to succeed. And he changed the rugby program at my old school. You know, he was in 3 years he started the program, and then now it's a Division I program, one of the best programs in the country. It's insane, and I have all the respect in the world for him. He's truly someone I look up to, and he always says this. And I was only there for a short period of time, so a lot of the other boys were there, and they really believed in this as well, and it shows. And it's something that really means a lot to me, because I'll tell you the quote first, then I'll explain why. So the quote is, "How you do anything is how you do everything." And I remember when I first heard that, I was kind of like, how I brush my teeth is how I play basketball? What? That's not what it means. But it's just kind of like the Damian Lillard thing of, you just have to have reps. Nobody sees the work that you put in until you succeed, and then everyone thinks that you're an overnight success, right? But if you go to practice, if you go to school, and you half-ass everything, and you don't put in as much effort as you can, then when you get to a game, when you get to a test, and you're not prepared, that's fucking on you. Yeah, there are going to be situations where a test is way harder than you think it'd be. It's going to be a game where the ref isn't giving you calls, or things just aren't clicking how they are. That happens. But if you prepare yourself in the best way that you possibly can in any given outcome, you will succeed. Even if you don't win or you don't get the grades you want, you're going to do better than you expected. And if you preach things, but behind closed doors you aren't that thing, then you're just lying to yourself. What you are on the inside is not that. What you are on the inside is not what you are perceiving, or people perceive you as on the outside. And ultimately, that's all that matters. A lot of fake people, a lot of fake things, a lot of fake situations in the world. And social media, for example, is a great one. You see people who are jacked, people who are lean as shit, people who are rich, Lambos, Ferraris, everything. But that's not everything. If they're not a good person or they're not a moral human being, behind closed doors, that's who they are. That what they portray isn't who they are. That goes the same for you. If you are somebody who really, really, really struggles with how you talk to yourself or in the mirror or something like that, and you don't want to fix it, or if you tell people that you are fixing it, but you're really not, and you don't want to seek help for that, you got to do that, because how you do anything is how you do everything. If you cheat on things, if you cheat on tests, if you cheat on people, first of all, stop that. It's bad. Be committed to people. And you say to people, oh, that was just so, I didn't mean anything. Just because you said that doesn't mean that you aren't a cheater at things. You are. That's what you are. How you do anything is how you do everything. So take pride in what happens behind closed doors, because that really matters. At the end of the day, only you know what you did and what you do and how you feel and how you think. So make sure those are good things and what you actually want to do. And this last one, hopefully I won't get emotional in this last one, but it's from this coach. His name was Coach Oz. I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't know his actual full name. I love you, Coach Oz. You're a great guy. He's at my undergrad. He's like a tennis coach or something, but we didn't have a tennis program, so I don't know. Weird explanation, but I used to always see him around. I used to always go get some shots up. He used to always come up, say good day, say what's up, and tell me about a bunch of like Larry Bird shooting drills or Jerry Lucas stuff. Very old guy, I think. But so I was pretty close, not close, but we were acquainted. I knew who he was. We'd always have a chat. I always say what's up to him. I'd always have a talk. So I'd talk to anybody, talk to everybody. It's just kind of what I do. And there was one day, my senior year, I think basketball just ended. I don't remember the exact date. But moral of the story is I wasn't in a good spot. Wasn't in a great spot. Was very lost in a lot of things. And I felt like I'd lost my way in a lot of things. I hadn't gone off the rails or anything like that. I just didn't feel like myself, and I felt kind of like that I was just watching my own body from the outside. Like I wasn't actually in it. And I saw one of my friends, and he came up to me, and he was like, hey, I saw you won that Champions Character Award. The Champions Character is just like an award that is given by a coach to a player on a team in the NAIA of who they feel exemplifies something. Basically, just if you're a good person, you get the award. 1 or 3 times. No flex, sorry. But yeah, so I was in a pretty bad spot, but I just won the award, and I got posted on Facebook or something, and then he came up to me and was like, hey, so you won the award. Congratulations, that's good. I was like, appreciate it, Coach Oz. Thank you. And he said, hey, if you don't mind, it shows a lot about your character. I said, thank you, appreciate that. And he was like, I want to tell you something that I tell my wife all the time. And he told me this right here, and it stuck with me. It hit me so heavy that as soon as I finished talking to him, I felt like I felt like it was an out of body experience. I felt like it was like an angel or something that came down to tell me that to put me on the right path again. And I wrote it down immediately. And what it is he said, I tell my wife all the time, I want to live long enough to see how many more people I can make happy. And wow, that stuck with me so heavy because that's what I want to do. that's like that's what I really, really feel like is what a lot of people are missing in their life, because a lot of people now, I feel, are about, I need to do this. Like, I need to focus on my career, I need to focus on blah, 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 I need to focus on getting this, whatever it is. And I feel like a lot of people's purposes have gone away from just trying to live as good of a life as you can. Like, being as happy as you can, being as positive as you can. Servitude towards others and putting a smile on somebody's face can really change their life. It really can. Whether you know it or not, it really can. And telling someone something like this, or a quote, any of these quotes, or whatever, just having a conversation with somebody can change the course of their life, can change the course of their day. And that's why I'll never turn down a conversation, is that, a lot of that. And I feel like, especially when I heard that quote, I was very lost in my life and I didn't really know what I wanted to do. But that's ultimately all I really care about, is how many people I can make happy and how many lives I can possibly change. And I use the word possibly intentionally because you'll never know how many people's lives you'll impact. And I feel very passionate about that because I've had a lot of conversations with people, that I've had a lot of nights where I've had a lot of bad thoughts, or just very, very negative thoughts, or just been really sad. And I've had friends that we just hang out. Like, we just chat about stuff, not even related to me or anything, but to take my mind off things. And that changed a lot of my thinking and stuff. And you might just get a text from somebody and be like, hey, I love you. And then you might really need that day. So also do that for other people, send it to other people, let them know. I try to my best every now and then just to text as many people as I can, be like, hey, love you. Hope you're doing well. I know it's been a minute, but I hope everything is okay. Everything's good. And even one of my best mates is currently going through a really tough time. And the way that he was able to shift that perspective for a lot of people was so inspiring to me, and it made me emotional. But it's being a good person doesn't cost anything, right? Being a dick is actually harder to do. That sounds funny. Sorry. It is. I feel like it costs more energy to be a bad person to people. Like, just if you see someone walking and they're like 10, 12 steps away, hold the door open for them. Like, God, it's not that hard. That person might have been having the worst day of their life, and you holding the door open for them might have shifted their perspective on people for that day, which can change a lot of people's lives. And I'm very passionate about positivity and make people happy. So hopefully that quote, in my experience, can help shift your perspective on being positive and being happy. But that does conclude the episode. I need to go on the bike and work out because I'm about to drink alcohol. No, I have a little get together with my friends, so it'll be fun. It's gonna be fun. And hopefully these quotes or aphorisms, even if they don't hit now, hopefully they hit later, or you might have a situation where you need a little bit more oomph behind it, and hopefully these things can aid you in any way. I have a lot more if you guys want to hear any more. I posted a lot on my TikTok as well, because sure, that might be gone though. Unfortunate. Shout out the US. But yeah, hopefully it helps in any way, shape, or form. If one of them did, just for one person, then that's all I really care about. And hopefully we all go on the right path, and we're all positive, and we're all happy people. But I love you. Hopefully everything's going well with you personally. You right there, not the guy next to you, not the girl next to you. You have a girl next to you and you're a guy, hell yeah. Or a guy next to you and you're a guy. Let's go, progressive. Why do I say things sometimes? But regardless, I love you. Episode 3 of the podcast is now out. Bang, bang, we're 3 episodes in. Hopefully many more to come. Spinny. See that? Didn't spin the whole way. But we're on our way. Everything's going well. Everything's going very well. So I love you.